You're listening to the On Call Empath Show.
All right, guys, we are back for another episode of the On Call Empath. This is a follow-up episode because the episode of 79 did so well, and due to popular demand, I got Cheney Daughtry back for her follow-up episode. Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for coming back. It's an honor.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you for having me. These little follow-ups, they're fun.
Yeah. So tell us how you've been doing. I know, this topic is about narcissist abuse, and, half the clients that I see, the number one thing is, how do we move forward after narcissist abuse? Because a lot of people out there are still scratching their heads and they're listening to this podcast. So I thought, why not bring you back and share your experiences and what you've been doing to cope?
Yeah, I love it. Yes. So yeah, last time we talked, we did touch on, my past abuse and past relationship and things. And since then, I actually took a really big shift in my career, I guess, and life. I am putting a pause, I guess, on coaching. I found a more stable and reliable job. It was hard building a business, being a single mom, being an entrepreneur. There was stuff that was coming up that I just couldn't deal with without constant income. So I shifted my perspective on all of that. I found a job that I'm actually really enjoying. And then my daughter and I, we are in our own place and everything's really good. And it's been, I guess, a year in the making of really digging deeper than I ever have before into my self-love, into self-care. And that has really catapulted my own sense of self and confidence. And it's just been really awesome.
I'm so happy for you. And this is what I wanted to bring you on. I mean, your episode was ranked as one of the top episodes of hundreds of episodes that I've had on the podcast. And I think one of the reasons why is people could relate with what you were going through. I know you had leaky gut, issues and stuff like that. And there's somebody listening out there, and even some of my clients who are living with a narcissist, or they dated somebody who was a narcissist. And what I get is the number one thing, and maybe you can share some light on this, is even if they don't want to think about that person, it subconsciously it gets more intense, and they can't get them out of their mind. And I ask them, what can you do to kind of stop thinking about that? But the more we tell people to stop thinking about a certain thing or a person, we're going to do it more. So in your case, after you left the narcissist, what were some of the things that you had challenges with, and how did you get out of it?
Yeah, the biggest thing, which is something I'm actually still working on, is more of the anger part of it. I feel like after the relationship ended, I did not deal with my emotions at all. I went straight into physical fitness. I worked out twice a day. That was like my release back then. And it's still really being able to forgive and move forward with who I am now, and really understanding that what I went through made me who I am today. And I am grateful and thankful for all of the experiences that he gave me, all of the knowledge that I gained from that relationship. And that's kind of been the biggest thing, was kind of getting over the anger and really going more into forgiveness of myself, and then forgiveness of him, and just really understanding that, our paths did cross for a reason. And if it was for me to turn into who I am right now, right this second, then I'll take it.
Yeah. And that's why it's such an inspirational story. It's just, a lot of people find themselves in that loop. So what happens is, what I hear from a lot of clients is, once they get away from the narcissist, they're right back in a relationship with another one who poses themselves as the white knight of the person, I'm going to save you. Don't worry about that guy. He was like a monster. I'm totally different. And guys and girls, I mean, it could happen on both sides, but what can we do to kind of look for those red flags? Because I know some of the people that I've talked to, they go right back into it, and then they ask me, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why do I keep, and I don't know if it's a boundary issues or red flags that they're missing. What is your take on all that?
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that you're bringing this up. So my take on it is 100% boundaries. That I find when I hear about narcissism or relationships involving a narcissist, I always tend to look at, is this a codependent relationship? Most of the time, most narcissistic relationships are codependent, either, male or female. And for that, it's after the relationship is over, definitely taking the time to take a break from everything and everyone, focus on you internally, focus on what's going to make you happy, right? Finding self again. Yeah. And that took me like 4 years to really, I was only focused on myself. I was only focused on what made me happy. And it's, I mean, I don't want people to be jumping around into relationships. That's like an inner void that they're trying to fill. Jumping to relationship. And it's never the right one, because you haven't really looked inside to see what the true issue is, whether it's codependency, whether it's, you're trying to fill a void somewhere, or you're trying to, like issues with family and things like that. All that needs to get resolved before you are strong enough and confident enough within self to even find a partner. Right. And it's about finding a partner. It's about finding someone who's going to treat you as an equal, who's just going to enter your life and build you up and, just be there with you through the trials and tribulations of life, through the, and experience life with you, not against you or not for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. And so now you're at a point, you started a new career. You're definitely doing well for yourself. How do you know that you fully healed? Or is it something you just wake up one day and you're like, oh, I feel a little lighter. I feel a lot less stressed. Does it hit you like one day, or is it just a gradual thing with narcissist abuse recovery?
Yeah, I think for me, it has been more of a slow progression, that I'm noticing things that maybe have triggered me before, I don't have a reaction to anymore. Even just getting out there, talking to, people again, my job is, like I am out there in the public, so I am talking to people. And that has really helped me kind of overcome those like trust issues, to be like, oh, not everyone's out to get me. There are just like genuine people out in the world. So that has really been helpful too. And really just like, I've really learned to create those boundaries. Yeah. And whether it be with my daughter or family or, people I do meet on the streets, like really making sure that I understand my own boundaries and that I'm holding to them regardless of who the person is. Right. And for me to do that, it was a lot of, inner work, just meditation or yoga and, writing, journaling. I do that every day. And stuff just kind of comes out, and really just being really mindful and really like intentional with everything that I'm doing. So all of that has kind of compiled into just making life easier and easier. So, when I did meet the person I'm currently dating, stuff is coming up. And it's like, this is new for me, right? This is like my first relationship in 4 years. Yeah. So yes, there is a lot of like, oh my gosh, like, is this codependency? Is this, so I need to like really work on, and I am working on staying out of my head and leading with my heart in this relationship. And, it's really been great just to actually meet someone who matches everything that I've ever wanted in a person.
Yeah.
In a true life partner. And it's all because I've done the internal work. I've taken the time to quiet my mind, to quiet my body, and just heal, basically.
Yeah, that's very tough. I mean, to do, because I mean, I've talked to people in the past, and one of the things that they tell me is when they go out, let's say they go out on a date or they meet somebody for the first time, there is going to be some apprehension, guys, and there's going to be, hypervigilance. You're going to be questioning everything and just kind of self-diagnosing, like, oh God, am I doing this? Did I not set enough boundaries? Is this a red flag? So all these things cause pressure, and it just kind of stresses the narcissist recover, like the process. It just kind of lingers more. And so, for you, I mean, it took you 4 years to get where you are today. And it's so nice to see you like actually smiling and talking about this subject, where there's a lot of people, it's been decades, and they don't see any light. They don't think they're going to find anyone. They don't trust anyone. They got a lot of hate, and they'll look for things that's not there in certain things, and they may self-sabotage like a relationship, and it could be a good person. But at the same time, what do you say to somebody that's listening right now who's maybe given up hope and said, you guys don't understand, this guy was, or this girl was a monster and they screwed me up. I have PTSD from it. And every time I go out on a date or go in public, it triggers me. So how the heck am I going to meet anyone thinking like that? And you did mention, meditation and mindfulness and all those things that helped you. What would you say would be like just the first step somebody could get off this podcast and start at least thinking in a way where it could lead to hopeful like recovery?
It would definitely be stop dating for a while. If you find yourself every time you're trying to date or see someone or talk to someone on the street, and your automatic thought is this person is, trying to attack me, or they, you're all these negative thoughts about this person that may not really be true. It's just your own personal, like you said, like self-sabotage kind of, because you internally are not ready to accept love, then that is, something. If you're going to leave this podcast right now and go do something, I would say pick up a self-help book. There are bazillions out there. I read them constantly, and it's not even that, they have helped me. But it's just nice to hear other people's perspective on like how the universe works, or, if you're religious, grab the Bible, something that's going to fill your cup. Yeah. That's what you need to do. So grab any book that sparks your interest, and then journal. I mean, just get quiet and just journal and see what comes out. Like I was surprised what would come out when I just sat and wrote. Yeah. Just, really not thinking, not trying to be a specific way or whatever, right? It's a piece of paper. You can throw it away afterwards, right? No one's going to see it. Right. Let your brain like soften and just write, and just the stuff that comes out is insane. But that's a way to physically get it out of your body. And then you can actually release it, whether it's going in the garbage, whether you want to do a bonfire, whatever it is, but you have to physically release it out of your body to then move forward. So those are my two recommendations. Yeah, it's very good advice. And one thing I noticed about you is, I mean, you just don't talk about it. You actually do what you say, you take action. And I think anyone that's listening out there, if you're doing something positive, that's great. But if you can watch all the podcasts, all the YouTube videos, and read all the books, but if you're not practicing what you're saying, it's just going to be constantly, okay, I'm going to do this for a while, I'm going to feel good. And you're going to feel that butterfly in your stomach, like, yes, I'm healing. And then you're right back to square one a few days later. And you're like, what's going on? It's got to be a consistent lifestyle thing, like exercising, like
getting up, making your bed, brushing your teeth. You have to get up every morning and just know whatever comes your way, you're going to still do the same routine. You're still lovable no matter what anyone tells you. And that's what I admire about you. You follow through with what you said, and now look at you. And that's why I wanted to bring you on here. Is just recovery is possible, guys. And here's proof,
Yeah. Yes. And it takes time. Like, and
Yeah.
don't rush the process. Like, like I know, especially in society now, everything's instant gratification. Well, I'm going to read this book and do this podcast, and then I'm healed. No, guys.
I'm going to take this course, and this person's going to magically, and go see a therapist and do what you need to do. But just know at the end of the day, you can do overload, and there is such thing as positive toxicity, where if you're just always like pretending to be happy when you're not, it's okay to break down. It's okay to cry. I mean, for men, it's like a big taboo to show your emotions, but I'm here to tell you, fuck that. I mean, you're human, and the only person that matters is yourself. You have to put yourself first. And like you said, fill your cup before you can help others. So I think that's the first step. So Cheney, I mean, it's been a pleasure having you on this podcast for this, follow up. I wanted people to see the before and after, and even just you sitting there, your glow, you're smiling, you're dating, and you're going after your new dreams. What's next for you on this? I mean, you're not stopping. So tell us what's going on after all of this.
I honestly don't know what's going on. I'm literally just taking it in stride. I'm doing the best I can with what I have in front of me, and I'm just going to see where life takes me. I'm not really pressured into, I need to be in this specific career, or it needs to go this way, like it's just kind of, I'm really just enjoying life and being here right now.
In the moment.
Yeah. Just totally living in the moment, and whatever comes. And I know it's going to be great, whatever it is. I know the universe has my back. So
there you go.
Just ready for it.
All right. You still have the same Instagram profile, and would you?
Oh yeah. I honestly am not on social media anymore. I've totally taken a back seat. And
that's
really,
a good thing.
That has helped to kind of refocus on myself. Was that I was consuming a lot of Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, and I just found myself hours a day consuming, and I was like, I really got to take a step back. Like, this is not good for my health. It's not good for my mindset. So it's been months, but it is still the same. It's all still there, but I'm just not active.
Focusing on yourself, and that is true. I mean, social media, the way that everything is set up nowadays, and this is a podcast in itself, is we always try to compare ourselves, or if we see a picture of our friends married and happy with kids, we don't know what's going on in the back of that picture. They could be like fighting, and one could be a narcissist, but yet we see these vacation photos and them smiling and buying stuff, and it just triggers all this stuff. And that's one of the main things I get from people. They're like, well, everyone else is happy. That's not how it works.
No, everyone has, their issues, and it's all just, if we can get quiet and figure it out, that's, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you back. I love these types of follow-ups because it just gives people hope. And I know there's a lot, and like I said, your episode 79, you guys, if you haven't checked it out, go listen to that one and then come back to this one. You will see a total difference, and you'll have hope, hopefully, and keep doing what you're doing. It's just such an honor to have you back, and an inspiration.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that does it for this episode. Please share it with anyone that might be going through some type of narcissist abuse, or just going through a tough time with someone. With that said, stay tuned for the next episode. I have a lot more guests from around the world. We have the Elite Coaches series that just started, so I'm so excited for that. With that said, always keep moving forward, and we are out.
You're listening to the On-Call Empath.